Hey everyone, and welcome back to Figure Barn. Now today we're in for a journey across 3 iconic movies and their Funko Pop figures. First up, we'll escape the ordinary with 2 classic Shawshank Redemption figures. Then we'll boldly go where no Funko fan has gone before, with 2 more from Star Trek First Contact, and finally we'll kick back and relax with all 4 from the gang of Dazed and Confused. So grab your popcorn, hit that subscribe button, and let's unbox these legendary characters together. Don't forget to leave a comment with your favourite figure and which movie you'd love to see in the next Funko Pop lineup. Stay tuned and let the nostalgia begin. So starting off, the Shawshank Redemption was released in 1994 and is based on Stephen King's novella Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption. The movie follows the story of Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins, a successful banker who was wrongly convicted of murdering his wife and her lover. He's sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms at Shawshank State Penitentiary. While at Shawshank, Andy befriends Ellis "Red" Redding, Morgan Freeman, a seasoned inmate known for his ability to procure contraband. The Shawshank Redemption received critical acclaim for its storytelling, performance and direction. Although it did not perform well at the box office initially, it gained a massive following over the years through television broadcasts and home media. The film is often regarded as one of the greatest movies of all time, celebrated for its powerful themes, memorable characters and inspirational message. So the first pop we have today is Andy Dufresne. Now, as a banker wrongfully convicted of murder and sent to Shawshank Prison, he befriends Red and maintains hope despite the harsh conditions. Andy's ingenuity leads to his daring escape and his eventual exposure of the corruption within the prison. His journey underscores themes of hope, friendship, and obviously justice as well. And here he is in his iconic prison attire there, including his prison number 37927. Just about to see it there, if I can get the reflection now. Now, although it's a fairly standard standing pose there, he does have his tiny little rock hammer in his hand, which he tunnelled his way out with at night, covering the growing holes with posters of Rita Hayworth and Raquel Welch as well. Now, although the role was played by Tim Robbins in the film itself, the original table reads for the part of Andy were read by none other than Tom Cruise. However, Cruise was reluctant to work with a director as inexperienced as Frank Darabont at the time, with Shawshank being his directorial debut for a non-TV movie. That basically left the opening for Robbins to step in and put his own stamp on the character. And the second of our Shawshank pops is obviously the wise and steadfast Ellis "Red" Boyd Redding there. Now, Red, played by Morgan Freeman, is a seasoned inmate known for his wisdom and resourcefulness. He befriends Andy Dufresne, offering support and hope. As also the film's narrator, Red's perspective highlights themes of friendship, redemption, and the enduring human spirit that comes with it. And as with Andy, it shows Red here in his prison get-up with his number, what's his number there, 30263, shown on his open shirt. It also includes the baseball glove that Red wears during his first encounter with Andy, and also the prison issue sort of flat cap that he wears throughout most of the movie as well. Now, it does turn out during filming the glove that Morgan Freeman was wearing was far too tight, but he didn't protest during the 9 hours of filming at the time. It wasn't until the next day when the actor appeared on set with a bandaged hand when the production team actually realised that the glove was a full size too small. Consummate professional as we know Morgan to be. Ellis Redding. And as we close the prison gates behind us and leave the poignant world of the Shawshank Redemption, it's time to chart a new course for the final frontier as we warp into the universe of Star Trek First Contact. Now, 1996 is Star Trek First Contact. The USS Enterprise E crew, led by Captain Picard, pursues the Borg into the past to prevent them from altering history. They aim to protect Zephyr Cochrane's first warp flight, which leads to humanity's first contact with the Vulcans. The crew battles the Borg and ensures the timeline's integrity. Now, although growing up, Star Trek was more of my brother's thing than mine, with me always preferring Star Wars to Star Trek, I do actually remember going to the cinema to watch this one at the time, and my personal opinion is that it is one of the better Star Trek movies that have been put out over the years. And first up we have the Borg Queen, played by Alice Krieg. The Borg Queen is the enigmatic and sinister leader of the Borg Collective. She seeks to assimilate humanity and challenges both Captain Picard and Commander Data. Queen's eerie presence and manipulation highlight the relentless nature of the Borg and their pursuit of perfection. Now, the first point I'd like to make on these is the actual boxes themselves. As you can see, they're in this rather sort of fetching black rather than a standard white that we get on usual Funkos, which sort of mixes it up a bit. They've done this, a couple of times recently. Certainly the Funko Scare Fair boxes from last year were black with a sort of red tint on them. So yeah, just a nice touch there for these ones. Onto the figure itself, it shows the Borg Queen's distinctive look and biomechanical sort of appearance, where she's a fused integration, if you like, of technology and biology together. The head there sort of combines organic elements, I suppose, with the sort of cybernetic enhancements, showing the exposed wiring, if you can just sort of see it there around the back of the head. And she's got the green blotchy skin across her forehead as well, which is quite a nice touch going around the sort of back of the head. Now, as well as in First Contact, Alice Krieg did reprise her role multiple times, including in Voyager and even more recently in Star Trek Lower Decks and in Star Trek Picard as well. So, a bit of a recurring character on one of the slightly more sinister ones. Yeah, nice figure. And the next one we have here is Locatus of Borg. Now, Locatus of Borg, formerly Captain Picard, symbolises his past assimilation by the Borg themselves. Now, he wasn't necessarily transformed within the film itself. Picard sort of confronts traumatic memories of his time as Locatus. These experiences fuel his determination to defeat the Borg and protect humanity. As you can see here, he's got his various cybernetic implants and devices. Certainly the prominent sort of ocular implant that goes around his eye there. It's quite cool that it's got a much sort of paler skin than a lot of the pops that you'd normally see for a sort of standard human, which gives him a sort of more robotic look, sort of highlighting the transformation from human into this sort of Borg state. And obviously he's got the distinctive Borg armour, which includes the mechanical components and the tubing that emphasises integration into the Borg Collective. Now, the director of the movie itself was a certain Jonathan Frakes, who you might also know him as Commander Will Riker. Such was the success in this as his directorial debut that he directed Star Trek Insurrection as well a couple of years later. And as I say, it is one of the darker and more enjoyable Star Trek films, if you ask me for an opinion. Locatus of Borg there. And as the third movie we have today, 1993's Dazed and Confused follows high school students in Austin, Texas on their last day of school in 1976. The film captures their carefree and rebellious spirit as they navigate sort of hazing rituals, house parties, and general youthful misadventures. Key characters like Randall Pink Floyd, Mitch Kramer and Wooderson experience the highs and lows of teenage life, forming friendships and facing dilemmas about their future. With a nostalgic 70s vibe, the film explores the themes of freedom, identity, and the transition from adolescence to adulthood that we all go through eventually. And starting off the crew, we have Mitch Kramer, the fresh-faced, lanky, wide-eyed teen navigating the 1976 high school scene. After surviving brutal hazing, Mitch's curiosity and resilience help him bond with the older, cooler students, transforming him from an awkward newbie to a more confident party goer. And here he is with his shaggy shoulder length brown hair that sort of frames his face there. Very 70s get up. You can see he's got his frayed bottoms on his blue jeans there. He's got the floral shirt, which is almost based on like a painted scene, I suppose. It's a lot more distinct in the movie. I'll put a little picture up here so you can see. I don't know if anybody knows if that's actually a real painting. I'd love to know in the comments if anybody does know. Now, although Wiley Wiggins, who played Mitch Kramer in the movie, did go on to feature in a few more after Dazed and Confused, these days he's more known as a games designer, and he's got a number of titles that are available on Twitch.io for anybody that wants to go and check those out. That's what he's doing these days rather than in the movie world. So there we have Mitch Kramer. And next up we have Randall Pink Floyd. Now, Pink was the charismatic high school football star with the laid-back, confident demeanour. Pink sort of navigated the social circles, but it was a bit torn between his love of football and a desire for the freedom itself. And here he is with his long brown hair there, white bell-bottom jeans, and his fairly iconic purple frilly shirt with the massive wing collar. Now it's a nice touch that the pose itself has him standing there with just his sort of thumbs in his pockets, as you can see, which seems to me to be a very sort of 70s stance for the cool kid on campus. Now Jason London, who played Pink, later noted that the director, Richard Linklater, gave each of the cast their own mixtape full of period music, which is also where a large percentage of the budget for the film went, which was to help them get into character, basically. He said, "Don't listen to anything but this music," as they were basically told to fully morph into living as if they were in 1976. They've got a certain style, these figures. And the third of the four that we have from the movie is Ron Slater here. Now known simply as Slater, he's one of the more memorable characters from the movie itself. He's also part of the high school crowd enjoying the carefree last day of school in 1976, and stands out for his laid-back stoner persona, sharing his outlandish theories and thoughts about government conspiracies and the benefits of marijuana. And again, it's got his long, straight brown hair, almost black in this pop here, giving him that classic sort of 70s stoner look. And he's got his casual, loose-fitting clothes as well. Typical t-shirt there with the drug-related leaf on the front and the green jeans to go with it. Now he's also shown here wearing a sort of grey backwards beanie hat, if you like, which was actually more of a checkered design in the actual film. Obviously they haven't been able to pick out that detail within here. And he's also quite a nice touch that he's got his black Converse boots on at the bottom there as well, which is quite a nice touch. Now, as the ultimate stoner from Lee High School, he had some unforgettable theories about some of America's founding fathers as well, including George Washington. He'd exclaim, "George toked weed, are you kidding me, man? He grew fields of that stuff." Now, while Washington did grow hemp at Mount Vernon, another fun fact is the Declaration of Independence was actually written on hemp paper. There isn't actually any evidence that he ever grew or smoked any psychoactive strains of cannabis. Yeah, the theory wasn't too far off the truth, I suppose, if you look at it and twist it one way. And there's Ron Slater. And finally for today we have Matthew McConaughey in his breakout role as David Wooderson. Now Wooderson had a reputation in town for clinging to his party boy lifestyle. A few years older than the rest of the high school seniors, he acted like he was still 18. With the group residing just outside of Austin, Texas in the mid-70s, Wooderson embraced his role as a bit of a rebel, or rather not wanting to grow up, whichever way you want to look at it, I suppose. And here he is, sporting his long, dirty blonde hair, I suppose, his thin moustache, and giving him that distinct 70s vibe again. And he's got his tight jeans on, and he's got his cowboy boots as well, and even the little belt buckle from the film as well, if you can just see it there. Now I do love the details on the shirt. We'll try and get a close-up of that if we can. On the image on the front is of Ted Nugent and the Amboy Duke's 7th and final album, Tooth, Fang and Claw. And it's even finished off with his stone pendant necklace around his neck. And even has a packet of cigarettes, if you can just see the outline there, shoved underneath the top of one of his shirt sleeves there. So it's a nice touch. Actually quite a nice figure, that one. Now the character of Wooderson was based on Matthew McConaughey's older brother, and was originally a much smaller part within the movie, but ended up getting more screen time when the other hired actors had some trouble fitting in with the rest of the cast, and Matthew McConaughey stepped up, I suppose, with the character of Wooderson, and there we have it. And that is pretty much a wrap, folks. We've tunnelled through the walls of Shawshank, travelled back in time with the Enterprise, and cruised through the laid-back vibes of the 70s. From Andy Dufresne's daring escape to Captain Picard's battle against the Borg, and finally chilling with Pink and Wooderson. We've gone through quite the cinematic journey today, I suppose. And if you enjoyed this trip through the Funkos of classic movies, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a showcase. Drop a comment below and let us know which movie pops you'd like to see, or even your favourite from today's collection. So stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, there's always another story to tell. And we'll catch you in the next one.